Good afternoon, everybody. Pyrex is here, getting ready to head out the door and go on another hike today. And I got my brand new little pocket field guide, which I absolutely love this book. It's just amazing. It's got some really nice features to it. Like here, this is a silver maple. You'll see how they got the nice picture on the left with the bark, flower, and fruit insets. Up on the right tab, you've got little guide thingies there that show you, you could break it down by category, by leaf structure and such. And it's got a nice description with the author's note. It's become my favorite little tree book. I mean, it's only got 117 species, but I figured I'd start with the trees because there are probably a lot less of those than wildflowers and shrubs and all that other stuff. So we'll put that in the back pocket and go up the road. Now today's hike, I'm planning on going in the opposite direction I did my last video, because the last video, let's stretch this out a little bit. My last video, I went to the left here, and that would be west, and I went into the lowlands, an open, drier area. Well, it's figuratively and literally, we're going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to go up eastward toward the base of the mountain. Going to go up in one of the little creek gullies up there, or in the mountains. It's about a mile up the road though, so I'll just, if I see anything interesting on the way there, or find any trees I'm not sure about that I can positively identify and lock in, then I'll go ahead and turn the camera back on. But it's a beautiful sunny day. It's been rainy here. The air quality is pretty bad. We actually have an alert here, a lot of particulates in the air, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera behind me, but it's kind of a hazy, just smoky, hazy kind of thing going on here. See, my impatiens are blooming up there on the porch, and got my cucumber plants are doing really well. Got them going up the trellis off my porch. I got my tomatoes up there. They're doing really well. And my new garden that I put in, I just built this thing this spring. The soil I used wasn't the greatest, so the plants are kind of struggling a bit, but I've been fertilizing and they're getting better. And I got a nice little thing I built. Didn't use any measurements or anything like that. I just did it all by eyeball, and it turned out very well, actually, better than what I would have expected. Yep, and got all my other stuff here. Just building makeshift raised beds with cheap dollar store totes, and got all my little stuff here. Got a nice little squash growing there. Be ready to harvest in a week or so. And my potato patch, nothing but pine needles piled up there. All my melons here, my little stuff. I've got cucumbers and all kinds of different stuff I'm trying. And my blueberry bushes, which they're almost all gone. The little chipmunk loves to climb up this thing and just get the berries for himself. So it's not quite as ripe as I'd like, but tart. Good though, and oops, sorry. Good though, and way better than the way bigger than the wild ones I've found recently in that dry area. So I'm gonna go ahead and go up the road here. Like I said, it's about a mile, so not gonna waste my time. Can't even see the mountains from here down the road, hardly. Like I said, the air quality's really bad. Smells nice though, but yeah, all the way as far as you can see up there, that's where I'm going. So definitely different than down here in the lower land. So all right, if I find something interesting on the way up there, I'll go ahead and turn the camera back on. We'll just do these short little clips, like I said. Okay, so just on the way here, on the way up the hill, I want to stop by where our local school is, our local grade school. There's a really beautiful example of a weeping willow tree. Actually, there's like several of them planted right here, and You gotta love weeping willows, the way their branches come down like that, and usually associated more with water, of course. So I just wanted to take a quick shot of those. I mean, I know it's already one that I know, but still, it's just such a awesome little trees, awesome trees here. You can see some cattails there because this is the waterway that they get. Used to be just an abandoned old house up there, and then they built the new grade school up here several years back, so kind of nice. I just thought I'd show that real quick. Alright, so here's one of the first trees that I've learned to positively and definitively identify. It's a big tooth aspen. You can see the leaves here. It's got those teeth all along the outer edge. And it's because of this book, like I said, that I learned to identify this species specifically. I wasn't sure before this if it was some other kind of poplar, maybe quaking aspen or something like that, but flipping through here, simple opposite. There we go. Now the ones down in the drier area, they have the red marks like the book shows here. But this one here, it's in a swampier area. It doesn't seem to have the red tinges. But yeah, it's definitely still a big tooth aspen. And the thing is, right down the road from it is another poplar. Let's see if I can remember. It's down there with that car, behind that car. And a lot of traffic on this road, which I don't particularly care for, but as you can see, they pushed all this stuff back. It was like creeping up really closer to the road, and some sycamores there, and God knows what else this other stuff is. A lot of honeysuckle all interspersed in there. That's some kind of elm, I believe. And more elm, sycamore. Probably a black locust. I like the locust trees, but I don't like all the thorns on them. So here, this tree right here, this one is I believe this one's quaking aspen. Not too many leaves too low. I mean, it still might be a big tooth because it does have some teeth on it, and it does have some red tinges, so the teeth on this one aren't nearly as pronounced as the other one, but it still has teeth, and a little sumac growing in there with it. But let's see, flipping through. Sorry it takes so long to get through here, but wahoo. What kind of tree is that? Wahoo. Balsam poplar. Lombardy poplar. Eastern cottonwood. I think I went the wrong way. Yeah, there it is. Alright, quaking aspen. Yeah, so according to this, it has some little ridges like teeth. Now this one I'm not so sure about. Now, maybe it's not because the bark doesn't match. Let's see what the big tooth bark looks like. Okay, yeah, so this one's got to be a big tooth as well. Thought it was a quaking aspen, but see, just goes to show how much I've got to learn. And one more thing I wanted to point out here is this little mulberry tree growing here. It actually has some mulberries on it. Not very many. It's still young, but there, I think you can see some of the little mulberries there growing. Yep. It's kind of nice to have that out here. Birds really love those mulberries. Of course, a lot of people who grow them in their yards, they don't usually keep them for too long because they really make a mess with as much fruit as they produce. So, all right, I'm gonna head back up on the road, and see what else we can see. All right, so here's another tree that I'm actually very familiar with since I have a couple on my property. But there's a black walnut tree. Now we got a lot of these. Of course, she's got the round nuts, the multiple compound leaves. It's growing right next to the creek, so that's why it's probably doing so well. And it looks like it's going to be a really good year for nuts because they're just all over this thing. Of course, that's good for the squirrels and all that. But yeah, that's the black walnut. Now, what's interesting is there's another well, not as common as the black walnut, but I've always been looking for the other kind of walnut family. I've never seen pecans around here, but the other one I'm talking about is the butternut. It's supposed to have more oblong shaped nuts, and I always keep hoping to find one of those. So we'll see, maybe this trip, I don't know, because we're going in a very wooded area. But like I said, that's only the hill. You can barely see that in the distance with all the smog or fog or, you know, whatever. So yeah, we'll see what we see. Okay, I'm just a couple of 100 yards down from where I filmed the black walnut tree, and bless my soul, I cannot tell you, this is amazing. Right here, which I thought was another black walnut, it's actually a butternut. I mean, you can see the nut, how it's different. It's not round like the black walnut. This nut is actually oblong shaped. And the bark, of course, is smoother if you look at the actual bark of the tree. And I've already looked in the book and positively identified it. So, wow, I can check that one off my bucket list. I mean, it's like the good book says, ask and you shall receive. And, well, that's just like amazing. I'd never even noticed this thing, and I've walked past it so many times. It's got some curly leaf fungal problems with it, but, oh, there's a nice little cluster of 3 nuts up there. I am definitely going to have to come back here and pick a couple of these just so I can see and taste what a butternut walnut tastes like. Wow, so see, I'm excited. This has been a great trip already. Now I'll film the next one I find. Okay, so I've gone about nearly a mile up the road, and we're right at the base of the mountains. We're getting to the last of the houses before we get into the wild areas, and came across this tree. I thought kind of looked like a chestnut at first. It's got the leaves, but they're more narrow. But then after looking in the book, I found that see these little acorns here growing on the stem, and these nice leaves with the nice the diagonal striping there, very distinctive, and the little points on the leaves. This is a chinkapin oak. This is another first for me. I mean, they're common in the area, but the oaks for me are a little hard to distinguish between, most of them anyways. But just wanted to say it's a nice big beautiful tree, and got another one that I've identified. So what is that, 3 already? 2 or 3? Yeah, it's like, wow. I mean, learning a lot today. It's amazing how much you can learn if you got a good little handy field guide like this. But I mean, let's look at it. Chinkapin oak. Chestnut mountain. The maples are also kind of hard for me to distinguish between. Scarlet Shumard, swamp white, black, red, burr. Oops, I think I passed it. English oak, blackjack oak, pin oak, post oak, scarlet oak, Shumard, swamp white, black. Where is it? Box elder, blatternut. That's weird. I know it's in here. I just looked at it. Crazy. Chestnut. American chestnut, which is, I know there's a chestnut up here, up on this trail that I'm going on today. Sweet gum tulip tree. Huh. Oh well. Can't remember where it was in here. Oh well, I guess we won't be looking at it, so all the hickories, sumac, locust. There's the butternut. See, that's one of my newly identified ones today, butternut. So Really love this little book. It's just like perfect. Fits right nice in my back pocket. Honey locust, buckeyes, coffee tree, Ohio, horse chestnut. Yeah, it's in there somewhere, but all right, I'm gonna head back up the road. So looks like we got a little bunny over here hanging out. He's not the only one. There's another one right here in someone's yard. Hey there, buddy. What you doing there, cutie? I wish I could learn how to. I forgot to look how to see how to do the zoom feature on this, but these bunnies don't seem too scared. Yeah. Thought I'd just kind of film him real quick. And plus there's something else up here that I've always found interesting, and in fact I've actually planted some of these on my property, but for some reason they didn't take and they died. So it's what's called sweet shrub, and this person has it growing right in their yard. It's got these beautiful little flowers on it, and they smell kind of like strawberries. I mean, the twigs are very aromatic, and I'm gonna have to get some more and try to plant them again and see if they take this year. But I'll keep on heading up the road, because as I said, we're almost past the houses now. And I got some other kind of willow or elm, or I think this is a willow, the way it's bending. Nice creek. I think this is Mountain Creek, I'm not sure, but all right, I'll start her up again once we get up there into the woods. All right, and now I'm officially up into the hills. That road just goes up. There's a little business up there and one of those little pay lakes, but other than that, right here, these couple houses behind me, those are the last houses on the road before you hit the woods. But got a really good example of a shagbark hickory. There's several kinds. There's like 5 or 6 different kinds that grow in Pennsylvania, but this one, bug, get out of my eye. You can see this one has the broader leaves, the smaller leaves here, and there's 5. Sometimes they have 7. And I've seen this particular tree with 7. And of course you have the bark, which is kind of shaggy. I guess that's why it's called bark hickory. And the other one would be, that are similar to this, would be shellbark hickory. I think it's got the bigger nuts, but that's another one that I've positively learned how to identify now. So that's got at least 4 species. So I've learned a lot just this hike alone. And then of course we've got in the creek there, we've got all this rhododendron. We're getting up into, you know, like I said, the base of the mountains, and this rhododendron just grows all along the creeks. And it's, like I said, opposite from what I was down there in my last hike. The last hike was all open and shrubby and scrubby, and up here it's like you can't even walk through these woods because there's so damn much growth. Oh, even got some flowers going on back there. Sure, we'll see some more up on the mountain. I haven't been up this trail this year yet. Last year was the first time I was up here in the fall when I planted some pawpaw seeds up this road, just to see how they would do. There's a nice little beach. That's a big old grand beautiful tree there. I think that's an oak. Can't tell. Yep, red oak. Yeah, gotta look up at the leaves to see what it is. All right, let's see what else we can see down the road. Oh, a lot of skunk cabbage down there. I hear that's edible, but never really tried that either. So, all right, see what's up the road. Okay, up in here, where it's definitely more moisture up here. The temperature has definitely dropped. I mean, it's between a 5 and a 10 degree difference, I'm sure, because I can feel it. Just walked through it. It was like a wall. And kind of interesting, these little May apples here. Looks like the May apples. We got one right here. I've never tried a May apple, like I've said in a previous video, but I plan on trying one this year, and hopefully I can come up here and find them. But yep, always something interesting to see. Oh, these bugs. That's the only thing I hate about hiking in summertime, is all these damn bugs just love to hover around your face and fly into your eyeballs and all that kinds of crazy crap. But I'm right here where I'm going to turn off of the main road. This goes up to the Pay Lake I told you about. And just outside of the camera range, there's a trail up there we call the Pipeline Trail, because there's a old pipe that runs up the mountain along that trail, and that goes up to White Rocks. Now eventually I'll make a video exploring that area, but it's kind of more of a little bit of a rugged hike to get up there from here. Now it's not quite so bad if you go the other trail where the Rand Powder Mill was. That's not quite as steep and rough, but this road here goes up to our local reservoir, where I'm not sure if we still do because we changed water companies, but we used to get our water from this reservoir. It's just a tiny little thing, as well as underground, water sources, but just depended on the time of year and the flow and everything. But this used to be gated off, and now they've been keeping it open since last fall at least. Same with the dam itself. The little reservoir, they always had that locked off before. When I went up there in the fall, they actually had the gate open. So we'll see, maybe they closed it up, or maybe they still have it open, but it's still a nice little trail. And somewhere up here, in fact, I might have passed it, or I think maybe it's still up here, is the chestnut tree that I get my chestnuts from in the fall too. Oh, a nice red oak here. Yeah. And